Who doesn't know them? These little green and salty snacks with their striking green color. The pistachio, or as we call it in German, die Pistazie, is a tree and a member of the so-called cashew family. Originated from Middle East and Central Asia, today it's the United States of America that produces almost 50% of the world's pistachio seeds. In 2020, they exported over 177 tons of it alone. That's a lot of pistachios. But now it's time to take a closer look at the delicious seeds under the microscope. Botanically speaking, the pistachio is a drupe, in which the edible seed is enclosed in a stony shell layer, the endocarp, which we can see here. I'm pretty sure we've all struggled with them before in our lives. These white and crusty structures here on the shell are salt crystals. Normally, pistachios are soaked in salt water. This process prevents food spoilage and makes it easier to transport and store them. Here we can see the outer edge from our pistachio shell. A very solidly built structure, perfect to protect the important inner life. With a higher magnification, we can see these fibrous structures of this stony shell even better. What we can see here are the Sclereids. These are the strong and thick cells of the endocarp, and together they make the shell hard as stone. These cell walls are so thick that they fill nearly all the cell's volume. The reason these cell walls thicken is due to something called lignification in botany. In simple terms, this means that these cell walls lignify due to the storage of lignin, cellulose, and other substances that are typical for wood. Now, let's have a look at this weird-looking surface. Does anyone already know to which part of the pistachio this belongs? It's the brown and purple colored seed coat or Testa of the pistachio. Not exactly the tasty part of the snack, yet it protects the seed from bacteria or fungi and may also have some health benefits for us. This is what the skin looks like under a higher magnification. Not to be overlooked is the purple color. The reason for that is the so-called Anthocyanin, a pigment with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, which we can find in red onions too. If we look at the cells with the blue Reinberg filter, we can see the Anthocyanin accumulation even more clearly. The cells of the skin also differs greatly from the cells of the shell. The cell walls seen here are much thinner and barely fill the volume of the cell at all, which makes them less stony and more flexible. Now that we have dealt with the less delicious parts of the pistachio, it's time to take a closer look at the good stuff. When we think of a pistachio, what do we notice first? It's this bright green color that makes the pistachio unmistakable. Here we are looking at the outer side of the beautiful green nutritive tissue, also called the endosperm. It consists of many important substances which the seedling needs for its development. The inside of the tissue is less green and has more of a yellowish color. If you look closely at the edge, you can already see how rich in fat the tissue is. But what exactly makes the pistachio so green? Let's swap to a higher magnification and find it out together. The clearly visible green coloring comes from cells which are rich in chlorophyll, the same natural pigment found in vegetables and fruits like peas or kiwis, for example. Chlorophyll allows the plants to absorb energy from light, which ultimately leads to photosynthesis. In other words, the plant generates sugar and oxygen from sunlight, carbon dioxide gas, and water. Without this process, life on Earth as we know it wouldn't be possible. If we look at the cells more closely, we can also spot many oil droplets. The oil content of pistachio kernels ranges from 50 to 60%, which makes them to a great source of healthy monounsaturated fats. This type of fat can help to lower the LDL or bad cholesterol, which is good for our heart health. Last but not least, we turn our attention to this little thing, the seedling, also called the embryo of the plant. Most of you have probably never noticed it before. It lies well hidden in all the other layers we've seen so far, from the shell, the skin, and the oily, nutritive tissue. Hard to imagine, but in this unimpressive looking part of the pistachio kernel lies all the information needed to develop a new pistachio tree. That's why it's so important that this part of the pistachio is optimally protected, but also supplied with all the essential nutrients for its development. And then, if everything goes as planned, a pistachio tree will grow to provide us with even more little green and healthy snacks. Although they do not always have to be healthy. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you had fun discovering this hidden world together with me. And if you want to join me on more microscopic adventures in the future, feel free to hit the subscribe button.